Hey y'all, today's date is August 12th. The time is about 1:40 in the afternoon. And I just want to talk to y'all today because I was with my cousin who came to visit us down here in North Carolina. And while he was here, he showed me this movie. Well, it was a documentary. But the documentary was about natural gas. And lately we've been hearing about in this push to get off of foreign oil, hearing a whole lot of campaigns about natural gas and how clean it is and it burns clean, yada yada yada. So the movie he showed me was called Gasland, and the guy that makes it is named Joshua Fox. So the premise of the movie was to show that though we think that natural gas is so clean and all that, it's really not as clean as we think it is. And the movie discussed some of the big natural gas companies, excuse me, including the Cabot Oil Company, Encana, and Halliburton, which was under the ownership of Dick Cheney. Um, in the movie, he goes to different places in the country, including places in Pennsylvania, Wyoming, and Colorado, and interviews different people who are living where they are drilling for this natural gas. And he talks about the process of drilling for natural gas called hydraulic fracturing, which in essence is they have a drill, they drill into the ground with water and a whole bunch of chemicals. They said in the movie about 596 chemicals, and some of them are carcinogens that are really unsafe. But they drill into the ground, and as they break up the ground, it releases the natural gas. They suck up the water and the chemicals and try to extract the gas. But as a result, it can easily pollute the nearby water. There are aquifers and wells and stuff like that. It usually affects people in rural areas because that's where they're drilling, who are on well water, not really city water, but well water. And he went through the history of how it got to this point. He talked about the Clean Water Act and the Safe Drinking Water Act of the 70s, and how when Bush and Cheney got into office, they lifted those restrictions and regulations that made oil companies, gas companies do things like report what they're doing, or be, there are regulations that say you can't do this too many times or whatever, just to keep things clean. But those restrictions were unfortunately lifted when Bush and Cheney came into office. So he also talks about how the rigs for natural gas started in the West and is trying to come east slowly but surely. And it was just an interesting movie because of the fact that I know when before I saw it, I thought that it was perfectly clean, everything was okay. And truth be told, natural gas does burn clean, but the process to get it is not all that clean. So it was just it what it bothered me actually to watch the movie at many points because there are points of the movie where you see people running their faucet, their kitchen faucet, and being able to set the water on fire. And I'm like, what? Like, how can you do that? Because of the fact that the chemicals and the natural gas got into the wells. So they turn on the faucet, all those chemicals are coming out, and as a result, people were drinking this water. And when they were drinking the water, they were getting sick, headaches, things like that. People were losing their sense of smell, their sense of taste, just awful things happening. And in the movie, they also discuss how they would go to the gas company, excuse me, and get their water tested. And of course, the test would come back negative, and the water is perfectly clean and all that. Um, but just awful, awful things that are happening as a result of people in those areas ingesting this contaminated water. Um, in the movie, toward the end, they also talk about bills in Congress that are trying to get the regulations put back on these companies. One of them was introduced by Diana DeGette of Colorado to make companies disclose the chemicals that they're using to drill for this natural gas, because as it is now, it's like patented, so they can drill with whatever they want and don't really have to answer to anybody, which is really a mess because no one knows what they're doing, no one knows what they're putting into the environment, no one really knows what's going into these people's aquifers and wells. So that is one thing that they're trying to do. Um, at toward the end, also, Fox talked about how the companies want to head into drilling in the New York watershed, which would really, really, really create problems because so many people live in this area of New York and New York City and Philadelphia, and the watershed does come all the way down there. And if they drill in that watershed, it would really pollute it, and people's water would be really, really, really polluted, and that would cause a whole bunch of sicknesses and stuff. So, just want to talk to y'all a little bit about that. I don't want to spoil the entire movie for you, but try to watch it. It's called Gasland. It's by Joshua Fox. If you can't watch the movie, at least try to research the movie because it's really interesting. It sheds a new light on the concept of natural gas, especially considering the fact that many governments are trying to use natural gas in their cars and their trucks and their vehicles and things like that. And so, really interesting. If you have the chance to see it, you'll probably be bothered by it as you watch it. But in the end, it's an awesome movie. As I said, it sheds a lot of light, makes you look at it in a different perspective. So watch it, be educated, and just in the future for things like this, for politics, I know I try to be as educated as I can, just because there's so much that we don't know and so much that the government lets get by. So try to be as educated as you can when it comes to these type things, especially things that the government's involved in, and just try to be active and learn all you can. So in the meantime, talk to y'all later. Pray for me. I'll be praying for you, and pray for this situation. Pray for our environment because it's really, we're killing it. So, and I want to be around to live and not have to be about dead. So anyway, talk to y'all later. Have a good one. Bye.